My friends, good day. The British philosopher Thomas Hobbes said, "The natural state of humanity is the war of all against all." He was born in 1588, the year of the Spanish Armada, and it is said, according to legend, that when the Armada was seen offshore, a great many British women gave birth out of fear to premature children, including Thomas Hobbes's mother. And he saw a great many things in his life, including the collapse of the British monarchy, where the king was killed a bit like in France later in the following century. Afterwards, there was chaos, then the era of Cromwell, and the monarchy was restored after 11 years. In fact, when he says that, he really feels it in his own flesh. What he's saying is that he's an empiricist when he speaks, or an empirist when he speaks. He's not floating in the world of ideas, he's in the real world. He's in reality. Worse then, it's the war of everyone against everyone. That defines him. He feels it in his flesh, and that's the normal state. That means it's not impossible to find from time to time phases where relative peace reigns while waiting for a war. In reality, if war is the normal state, then we all have to work actively to preserve peace. Because in fact, here is his message from beyond the grave. Here's what he's telling us. It's not that we have to make efforts to declare wars. Wars happen effortlessly because war is the normal state of man. And what kind of war? It's not a war between good and evil or between the small and the great. It's a war of everyone against everyone. And it's only through active preservation of peace that we don't have war. Today, what we're seeing is that we're sinking into this world of chaos, this world where every day we get news that seems even more catastrophic than the day before. And actually, we don't know where all this is going to end. In Europe, people are talking about World War III. It's become something completely normal. A place like that, yes, possibly, World War III. How should we prepare if we ever face World War III? Here are the five essentials you absolutely need to have, the five makeups that can withstand war or a nuclear explosion. I mean, it's complete madness, I'm telling you. So what do we have to top it all off? We have the American President Trump, who decided to go and kidnap Maduro under some pretext, like we have fentanyl in our streets. Well, there you go. We kidnap a foreign head of state and his wife, we bring them back, and then we're going to run the country. That's what he said. We're going to run the country. So I agree that there were irregularities in Maduro's votes. There are legitimacy issues, even if he's a bit more popular than Macron, which isn't saying much. That's easy to get, but I was saying that still there are legitimacy issues with Maduro. I think that Trump, as a foreign citizen leading in our country, is even more illegitimate in Venezuela. He wants to lead Venezuela, not the United States. Trump, the Americans, you'll see the midterms are coming at the end of the year. He's going to get wiped out because the Americans have turned away from the Trump system. Maybe we don't realize it in Europe, because in Europe we dream of having someone strong who knows how to put their foot down, someone who seems to defend the interests of European countries. That doesn't exist in Europe, but the Americans have become disillusioned. It's been a while. Today, the condemnations are almost unanimous. You see, there are condemnations from senators, from representatives from the left, the right, and independents. Everyone is horrified by what he did. There are condemnations from powerful organizations like the United Nations and all that. It makes no sense to attack a country, kidnap its president, and bring him back under local law charges. For example, he's being accused of possessing a machine gun. I assure you, they're accusing him of possessing firearms, according to an American law from 1934. I mean, since when? Does that law apply to a foreign country? And in fact, to those who say yes, they're going to bring freedom to the Venezuelan people. I'm telling you, my friends, you know the stories of the American Empire's wars. This is neither the first nor the last. We saw it in Iraq, we saw it in Libya, we saw it in Afghanistan. They were all wars to bring freedom, to bring happiness, joy, and all that. We can go back to Korea, Vietnam, and more. And none of these wars brought joy to anyone. They were wars mainly to make money, to control resources. And now, when by chance Venezuela has 18% of the world's oil resources, well, there you go. And what was happening was that China had invested billions there locally in infrastructure. So what comes to him, he comes and grabs everything. He comes and says, well, you invested, you built, thank you, I come, I take. There's no morality in that. I mean, the world is turning into a system into a thugocracy. Basically, it's a system where the strong eat the weak, that's all. We abandon the United Nations international law, rights, and respect between peoples and just act. As the other guy said, it's everyone against everyone. I'd like to tell you something. I'm realistic about Trump. I make realistic analyses. When he does something good, I say it. When he does something bad, I say it too, according to my view, my own. All right. On the other hand, what I've noticed is that Trump has become, we know he's a very divisive figure. In fact, he does it on purpose, he maintains it. But also, what I've noticed as well is that there's the anti Trump derangement syndrome, where there are people who already have their opinion made up in advance. Whatever they do, it's wrong. And there's also the opposite, there's the pro Trump derangement syndrome. And actually, it's become a rallying cry. Literally tribal, as we say in Africa. It's really pure tribalism. It's like, if you're not with us, you're against us. And then my tribe says this, I stay within my tribe, but that's not real thinking. That is to say, even if, for example, I don't know, the French don't like Macron, if tomorrow Macron were captured by a foreign power, and then the next day they send you a chief executive officer from an oil company or something else to run your country, you'll see, you'll feel the difference. And that's what's going to happen in Venezuela, but it's also going to happen elsewhere. It means we're heading toward a world that will become more and more radicalized. North Korea will build more atomic bombs, and other countries will pursue more armament and aggression. Is the whole world that's becoming an unstable place because of this kind of practice? Europeans don't understand one thing. Europe doesn't understand one thing. Because I'm going to tell you something. The Chinese, the Americans, the Russians, all of them, everyone is fighting to secure global access to resources. For example, oil is a resource, an absolutely vital commodity. Only the Europeans don't understand this because they are trying to build a civilization on Chinese solar panels and wind turbines. Okay, that's it. That's the problem. They think they can build a civilization with that build. But it doesn't make any sense at all when you look at it. But today, what also shocks me about Europe is that it's done. When you look, you see that the leaders of the different European countries are very soft with the United States. You notice American senators are much tougher. The American senators don't mince their words. They talk about kidnapping, they talk about violations of international rights and all that, while the Europeans just say they're observing with concern. You see, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You realize they're completely out of touch. Anyway, that's Venezuela. You know, he's been in the crosshairs for a long time, and especially, you know, it's about the oil. When you have oil, no matter what you do, you're in the crosshairs. You know, in 2011, there was this country gave its gold. They keep it at the Bank of England, so they gave the gold. I'm not sure what idea he had later, but when he requested it back during Gauchavez's time, the Bank of England asked, what do you want to do with it? There you go. It's a bit like when you go to a bank and ask for 500 euros of your own money, and they ask you if you have a quote, an invoice, or some proof. We don't just hand out money, it's yours, but you still won't get it. And so they pulled exactly that trick on him, and they tried, they didn't get it. They tried again during COVID, saying, I beg you, in the name of, due to the health crisis, we must protect our people by buying medicine and taking action. The British refused to let the gold leave, and at that point, all options and appeals were exhausted. The gold, it's over, it will come back, it will never come back, because with gold, you know, with a gold bar, You give it for safekeeping. I mean, it's over. The moment you give it to them, it's gone. That's it. They melted it down. They sold it. All of that. It's over. It's finished. Well, my friends, you see the situation we're living in today. It's gently heading into chaos. And then if tomorrow China invades Taiwan, what are you going to say to them? You'll say it's not right, it's immoral. What is Europe going to do? Is it going to freeze American assets now? Is it going to prevent American athletes from participating in the Olympic Games or from taking part in international sporting events? What are they going to do now? You see, I mean, that's it. We don't live in a world based on morality, on great principles, joy and good cheer, freedom, the rights of peoples, or human rights. No, we don't live by that. We live in a deeply cynical world where honestly it's dog eat dog, and that's it. In any case, we'll be watching this, as Europe used to say, we'll be watching this with concern and we'll see what comes of it. Thank you, my friends, for watching this video until the end, and I'll see you in the next one. See you very soon.